hello, and welcome to another episode of You First. That's right, it's all things about you, and you. I'm your host, Shawanna Kennedy. I am super excited. Y'all know I'm always excited to have amazing people to come in and talk about their life. This is a safe space where we talk about what it looks like to make you a priority. We talk all things self-care, mental well-being, and empowerment. And today I have an amazing young lady that she has done quite a few things. She know what it looks like and feel like to be a mother, to be a wife, to have worked for someone else, and now has even entered into the career of doing it for herself and being a serialpreneur. She understands what it looks like to feel grief, right? To experience loss. And all of those things are neatly packaged in my amazing guest. I'm super excited. Won't you help me welcome to the platform, Miss Nita Carlisle. Yes, put your hands together for Miss Nita Carlisle. Hey, and welcome to You First. Welcome to You First. Yes, I'm excited because I get to see you in these social streets, right? We from back home, y'all. I got to just say it up front because she affectionately called me auntie. I've had the experience and to be in her midst and watch her at work amongst her coworkers and to talk about empowerment, right? To talk about what it means to make yourself a priority and to put you first in your life. I want to welcome you to You First. Say hello, say hello to the people.
Hello, good afternoon. I am happy to be here and elated to have been chosen.
I like that. Y'all hear that? I'm excited. So matter of fact, because I haven't done this in a while. And so for some people, and I know, look, this will mean something to her. Look.
Oh, yeah.
I had to bring out the pom-pom. So for those of you who don't know, I'm affectionately called at home. I'm called pom-pom, and that means power over mindset, power over me. So it's not just that I'm an adult that carry a pom-pom. It actually means something to let us know that we have to be okay to cheer for ourselves, but we also challenge ourselves to do more, to go bigger, to go wider, and to put ourselves first, not outside of our creator, but to put ourselves first. Miss Anita, I want to jump into the conversation because the people want to hear your story. This is not about me today. You know, it's always about me, but today is about you. I want to know, when you think about self-discovery, when you think about putting yourself first, I want to know what happened to make you not put you first.
Truthfully, worrying about everybody else. When I was doing my biography, I was trying to take all of the titles out of it and just come up with me. In the past, I felt selfish worrying about me. I am a fixer by nature, so you could be telling me something going on in my head. I'm like, okay, I gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta do this for this person, and never focus on myself. It honestly took me to get laid off in August from a job I've been at for 7 years, never called off, never been late, always willing to step in and help. If you looked up teamwork in our handbook, it had my picture. I got laid off, and the very next day, it was like, what am I about to do? I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do anything. What am I going to do? So it was like, I didn't know what to do. It kind of scared me because it was like, I'm used to having responsibility, even to the point of in the office, some people call me the office mama. I just prefer to lead a certain way. I don't like bull crap. So if I feel like you gaslight me, I'm gonna check it. And sometimes that's a good thing, but sometimes it was a bad thing. So focusing on what it did make me realize is this year, May 20th, will be 6 years since I lost my dad. I never grieved for myself. So discovering myself, first I went through the fields. I was depressed because I'm like, who are they to take their job back? And stuff just didn't make sense. It was like the week before you gave me an 8% raise. 2 months before that, I just got another promotion. It just looked real crazy. Like, you sure? Like, or as the kids say these days, are you cool? Like, what happened? Focusing on myself, when I started to see people still, even though they knew I don't work there anymore, I would still get the phone calls. I know you don't work there, but I can't get an appointment. but the worker I had ain't answering me. And it was like, how can I be mad at these people when I taught them how to treat me? They'll call me, give me their problem, and I fix it. I taught y'all how to do that.
I
So now
love
I
what
have
you
to.
said. I love that you said that, because that is important, because I say it all the time. We teach people how to treat us every day in every area of our life. Now you are looking at August is here, and you're like, wait, this is what I've been doing. This is what I know. This is what I'm used to. This is what I'm actually even comfortable with. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
There's familiarity here. I know these people. They know me. Now, as the world turns and has flipped upside down, and now you're looking at, what am I going to do? And I love that you were honest about even saying, now I'm like, what am I about to do now? Do you believe at that point, one of the things, besides of course, all of the words that you might have said, probably said, as it relates to the employer and why did this happen, right? Yes. Look, this is the real space. This is the real space. I know you said you had a few choice words, right? And then some, and then some. It's like, now that you've dealt with that, saying, you know what? I don't like it, but it has happened. I can't explain it, but it has happened. Now I am forced to look at me. And I say, by choice or by force, we will have to at some point make ourselves a priority, by choice or by force. And so now you're at this point, you're looking around, and then I want to know, because you also mentioned about losing your dad. I know what that, I actually do know what that feels like. It's only been a couple of years for me. So I've sat in that seat. My heart go out to you and those who may be viewing, who have that experience. You're saying you didn't have a chance to grieve. And you said within that time, what were you feeling to then, now I've lost my job. I got to figure out what it is I'm going to do. But then immediately you brought, right behind that conversation, you brought in grief. What was going on?
I felt like the little girl sitting in the back seat, playing in his hat, listening to the music while him and my mother sat in the front seat, whatever they were doing. I felt like a kid again. Like, I want to call my daddy and tell him what y'all just did to his baby, and he not here. So it was kind of like what do I do now? What am I going to do? Sadly for my husband, I turned to shopping. I have a she room. The room looks like 3 hurricanes came in at one time and was battling with who was going to knock stuff down first. And it was like, I would go shopping, put the bag in there. Go shopping, put the box in there. To the point where shoes, I'm a sneakerhead. So I'm going to buy 2 and 3 pair of shoes a day, sneaking the bags in, putting it in the room, buying so many shoes. And one day, luckily the girl knew me. She's like, you already got those.
Wow.
So if I looked around the room, and one day I tripped. And I'm like, I had cut my finger. I'm diabetic. So of course I get nervous for everything. And they woke me up and was like, you got to get your life. Get it together. You ain't going back there. That's not an option. Even if they call you back, you're not going back. That's not an option. So what are you going to do? I had to break the stigma that my family has of therapy is not for us. And I went and laid on somebody's couch and luckily the person I went to allowed me to be my authentic self. So we didn't meet each other on okay, Mrs. Carlisle, how do you feel? She said, how do you want to be addressed? I said, right now, as confused. She said, well, when we get ready to leave, you're going to have to change that name because I'm not writing that down on your certificate. So I'm like, okay, I walked in confused. When I walked out, that's when I started embracing my middle name. And I'm like, I'm Nita Michele. Like, I feel like after a while, after talking to her, I felt like I had retired. And I was like, oh, when I go back to work, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going back to just anything. Y'all going to have to do this. I'm going to have that. I created non-negotiables. So Tuesdays and Thursdays are non-negotiable days in my life. I don't go nowhere if I don't want to. I don't do anything if I don't want to. I don't budge out my bed. I watch Heat of the Night. I hated it watching it coming up with my grandma, but now I'm watching it so much. I'm like, already seen this when Bubba gonna do this, and I'm like, yeah, you need to go to work, child. You gotta get yourself together. But the most of it, my husband kept saying, you have 2 things that you love to do. that you done went and got LLCs for? What are you going to do with them? Are you going to wait for somebody to call you to do their work, or are you going to work for yourself? He said, because Lord knows you done spent enough money. What you going to do? And I was like, you are absolutely right. So I was interviewing slowly but surely. The unemployment payment was a slap in my face. And I was like, what you gonna do? You can't help nobody else if you don't help yourself. In this head, I probably got a couple of books. I got some ebooks in my head, some different projects I want to do. And I just needed to get out of my way. And it's almost, August is coming around again. And they still doing what they do at that job. And here I am. I'm like, I could have let y'all stress me out, take me out. But no, this is what I'm going to do. And the building's still standing. I ain't done blew up nothing. I'm good. I'm okay.
So what have you done as it relates? Because I do applaud you for going to have a conversation with a professional. And you are right. And then I'm glad the word choice that you used with the stigma, right? Because sometimes it is where we're so stuck in what is, that we don't lean into what God has in front of us to assist us to do for ourselves. So going to the doctor and having those uncomfortable conversations, but much needed conversations. So this is where somebody, if you already know and you've experienced any of this, be okay to get the help that you need for yourself. Be okay to get the help that you need for yourself. What did it look like as you began to peel back some of the layers? Not only, of course, the confusion, and I love that, and I believe in what we say, right? We have to watch, because our words have power. We are in life and death. But then to changing the term confused, I want to know, because you could be still going, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But I want to know at this point, because that's what's top of mind for me. What are you calling yourself now instead of confused as it relates to that doctor's visit?
Confused in the past, confused now, elevated. If it does not elevate, I have to terminate. If you're not taking me to where I need to go, I'm getting more comfortable with going into rooms where I am the table. I'm not waiting for you to give me a seat. I am the table. I'm going into rooms where people want to be there with me. Like, oh, well, come on in. Or we already set this seat for you. Not walking in like looking for a name tag, looking for the name tag. I am my name tag. I am my business card. So it changed a whole lot. And on the confusion side, it was confused about what to do next. Why am I not excelling at this when I know I have this in me? I can help everybody else get this, but why am I not doing it for myself? And it came clear to me that I was scared. Because I have been so much for everybody, I don't want to let anybody down. Totally forgetting about myself.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. I love it. And because I know it's still a little fresh. You've gone over a couple of bumps. How is it with your family? Like once you got over, because I know you still love to shop. You may do it a little bit.
Oh yeah.
You're a little bit better, but yeah, we girls here. We love to shop. What did your family say when they noticed, of course, after the loss, but the changes, this self-discovery, this awakening? How was that with the family? Because I know sometimes when we choose to put ourselves first, everybody don't get it. Everybody don't understand, because you just said that you taught people how to treat you and that you were the go-to person for a lot of people. What did that look like?
For my immediate household, my husband and the boys, I think that they were loving the fact that I was at home, because I wasn't cooking like that every day. My boys are 23, 24. Y'all grown. My husband is vegan. So my excuse was, I don't know how to cook that stuff. So I wasn't cooking every day. I probably cooked like 2 days out the week. Once I was at home, honey, I learned how to make gravy. And now I think gravy go on everything. I was cooking more, so they was loving it. But taking the time for myself, for my kids, it was kind of like, what? You ain't finna take us here? You ain't finna do that? No, sir, I'm not. Oh, you're not gonna be here at that time? No, I'm not. And in the past, even before the layoff, I am everything for y'all. So it's like, oh no, I ain't gonna be able to go there at 5:00 because I gotta drop him off at work and he gotta be there at 5:30, and I'm not gonna go do this. Discovering myself, the truck moves when I move. and I'm moving at the speed I have to go. Like today, my son had to be at work at 2 o'clock. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Find another way, because trying to not prepare them for me not to be here, but stuff. I know what my grandmother meant now when she said, "Love me while I'm here, because when I'm gone, you can't get me back." So trying to make them self-sufficient, like, hey, this is about me. I have to go do this. So even though self-care, people say, oh, that's not getting your nails done, that's not getting your hair done, that is for me every 2-week thing. And they're starting to see it. Like one of my friends mentioned, like, you would have never known you was laid off. You never missed a beat. I'm not going to miss a beat because this is for me. So in the past, I camouflaged how I felt like it was like wearing a mask, wearing a wig. Every day I could be somebody different. For the past year, I have not worn weave. I'm liking the way my hair grows. So it's mine. My nails are mine. So it's a conversation piece. When I go sit down, each nail session is like a therapy session. And she like, I just need them to know you a boss. Forget them. Like, I think my nail tech was more mad that I got laid off than I was. She was mad. But now she just like, it's cool. She's like, you ain't got to go to work. You got this, you doing that. She's like, I know people you don't even know that know you. She's like, somebody sat in my chair like, oh, you know her. She was like, so people are noticing that, and that makes me feel good. I've been we have this thing here called ghetto therapy. It's like a big room session. And I've been going for the past 3 weeks. I met a young lady who her very first day there, the first words out of her mouth was, I had 2 choices, to turn right or to turn left. If I turned right, I was going to the lake and I was going to kill myself. Mm-hmm. That bothered me. Every day since that day, if I do not text her by 12 o'clock, she's on my phone. Are you okay? I'm checking on you, but we check on each other. She just turned 19. And I told her, I said, as long as you continue to show up for yourself, I will do what is in my power to show up for you, because I wish somebody would have done that for me. And just tugging her through my experiences. And she just like, wow, you really strong. And even when I don't think that I am, somebody else thinks that I am. So that's what's keep pushing me on, keep on going. And just, I have a praying best friend. She don't play about me, she pray about me. She don't play at all. So certain things she done spoke over me, and she like, no, you're gonna do this. You already know. She like, God don't play about you. You're gonna be okay. And every time she has said it, something different happens. Every time.
Love that, because we do have to have the right community, the right people that, yes, I said we have to watch our gaze. What is that? You already know what is it, the ears, mm-hmm. our nose, our mouth, right? We have to watch our gates, and because some people can say certain things that can throw you, that can mess up your life. And so the things that we hear, the stuff that we eat, the stuff that we even smell, it's what are we exposed to? So having someone that, and you said it, a praying person in your life, that is so important. But what I want you to, before I even go a little deeper, I want you for a moment to honestly look directly at the camera and talk to someone that may be looking, that may be like the other young lady that you get to feed into, and just speak directly to the camera, to speak to someone, to encourage them today.
What I want you to do is start intentionally showing up for yourself. Be mindful of what you speak over yourself, around yourself, and to yourself. Mary J. Blige has a song, wake up in the morning, good morning, gorgeous. Even if gorgeous is not the word you want to use, wake up and talk to yourself. After you talk to the Lord, of course, but wake up and talk to yourself. Be careful what you speak over. Don't keep saying, oh, I don't have it because I'm broke, because you're speaking that into yourself. Wake up like, oh, my wallet is overflowing because all this money is in there. Or just the main thing, please be mindful of what you say and what you allow in. Surround yourself with like-minded people who are rooting for you and not against you. Because some people P-R-A-Y for you, and some people P-R-E-Y against you. And that's the biggest thing. And as a Black woman, you have to really shield yourself. Don't get caught up in a good girlfriend game, because sometimes they are there just to see what you can offer. I had a friend circle like that. Now there's literally 4 of us, and it started as 8. I thought I needed a whole lot of people around me. You do not. Be your own cheerleader, and you got this. You got it. But be intentional.
Yay, I love it. I love it. I love it. Because we do need to know that sometimes people be nervous, they be afraid. I know when you were talking about part of your story and you mentioned even about fear, Fear is one of the biggest thieves there is. It is a thief. It will
True.
it will keep you from what God has intended and purpose for your life. The people that we get to serve, the people that we get to impact, because a lot of the things that we do, they're not even about us. It's just, to me, that's just me. Hey, y'all, let me just say that for the record. To me, it is God choosing to use us to help someone else who can get it from us. That's why doing the same thing that you do, if you did the same thing as me, I believe we have a set aside people that are our people
Mm-hmm.
because they need to hear it the way that we would say it, how we are, our unique DNA, who we are. And that's why we have to be okay to show up as ourselves all the time, because somebody needs you as yourself all the time. And I love that you are actually doing all of the pouring into yourself because what did you say? Breaking stigmas, talking about, I love when you even said stop. You tripped over some shoes, and immediately what came to my mind is because of some people need to stop tripping, right? Because you are tripping over the things that are holding you up, which means it's time for you to declutter, right? The seasons change, so that means we have to be okay to move some stuff out of the way. The new cannot come in if we're so still bogged down with the old. Now, I ain't saying get rid of your husband, your wife, or none of the things, or throw away the kids. We still have responsibilities. But it is that I love that you said, right, your children are young adults, which means yes, you spoiled them in regards to knowing that they used to just count on you for everything, but knowing at this stage up and through here, you need you.
Exactly.
And so that you can be here much longer, so that you can now enjoy. And I get to look, like I said, you get to hang out online, and I get to see her in the social streets. And this young lady, she is a comedian, y'all. She will have you. I'm just telling you. So if you are not following her, if you're not following her, you need to make sure you are following her on social media, because she's a ham. She is a ham. She is funty. Funty. Look, is that right? Is that a word?
That's a word. That's a word.
Just add some extra letters in there. Yeah. But you are hilarious. And I know that that's still a part of your big energy. That's a part of your spirit. That is what makes you a magnet. And so I love watching you grow, watching you over the years. Because heck, shoot, how many years ago was that?
It's been about 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. It's been almost 5. So that means you were just really in there. And then even then, the people were loving you and you were doing what you was doing then. And so to know that you still have these people that still rally around you, I'm excited for the person that they're even seeing now, because the hope is that it opens them up to more, and so that they can realize here's something else. When you think about all of those things and you think about putting yourself first, you talked about what that looks like for your children. Now, I know definitely he enjoys your cooking, but then let's talk about it as spouses, right? Let's talk about it being married. And what was that like in you making that shift? I know everybody was glad of you being at home, but how was that for him, feeling like he had a little bit more of you and you weren't tugged and pulled by the trials and the things that went on at work? How was that when you think about being married?
So I've been having conversations with my husband for the past 2 years. Coming from a toxic work environment and sometimes not knowing how to turn it off before I left out the door, it trickled into the household. And my husband will be like, oh, I hate this season for y'all at work because it's, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go there because we got mandatory this or I got mandatory that. So when I got the promotion, he was like, you really already been doing this job. The first promotion I got was the heat manager. And he said, you really already been doing this job. You just weren't getting paid for it. And I'm like, you're right. I said, well, it's going to be different because I'm the manager. It was different. Every problem came my way. Every customer at the window. But I turned the narrative around. People, we had a stigma of, oh, they so unprofessional, they're rude, they this, they're ghetto, this, that. So I started putting myself in the client's place. And I will bring them back to my office. What is it that you want to see here? How can we help you? So taking it home, it started to ease up a little bit, but he still was kind of like, so what you gonna do? I come home and complain about the problem. Well, what you gonna do? You gonna keep complaining about it or you gonna do this? So it's been a few times I wanted to walk out, but I called him first, like, hey, I'm just letting you know, you're gonna be able to handle these two car notes because they only got one more time to talk crazy and it's a wrap. Well, whatever you want to do. But I watched my husband's beard go from black to gray to a little slow little graying, and now it's literally white and gray. And I know I played a part in that because we of the two, I'm more outgoing. I'm gonna let Duck and Buck and my husband like, well, let's go sit down and read, and maybe that'll make them do something right if we just be quiet. So bringing it home to him, when the day that we found out we were getting laid off via email, I had already started downsizing my desk because I saw an interview. Tabitha Brown said, get all your stuff out from people's office. And that opened me up. Go and take some of this stuff home. It should have never took 6 trips of boxes because I'm just a girly girl. I like to decorate. So I called him, and you know, man, he wasn't catching it at first. I said, are you off work yet? He said, not yet. I said, I need you to come around the corner and help me get my stuff. So he like, you got a vendor's event? I'm like, I need you to come around the corner, bleep, 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 my stuff. And he like, okay, I'm on my way. I went downstairs. I told the security guard, I said, my husband is tall, brown skin, and bald head. When he get here, please let him upstairs. He like, what's going on? I explained to him, I said, because you're not going to walk me out of here. I'm not a criminal. I haven't taken anything. I said, the way that I walked in March of 2017 is how I'm going to leave August of 2024. We're not going to do that. Went in there, packed up my stuff. And I think it was for him when he seen the stuff, all the stuff off the wall, he was like, oh, you for real.
I was about to, yeah, that made it real. That made it real for him.
I said, I'll see you when I get home. But yeah, I'm for real. So the one thing I noticed for 2 weeks, it took me like 2 weeks to have a good cry moment because I think my adrenaline was on go. Like I was ready to pull up on somebody. But talking to him.
Don't hurt him. Don't hurt him.
Listen, he's the calm for this storm. He is the calm. He was just like, you were ready to go anyway. He said, and you would have kept staying if what? And he looked at me for the answer, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, the money. Because the money was good. So I said, you are absolutely right. I said, but what I noticed is where I'm trying to go in my life, that doesn't fit anymore. That attitude, that mean girl, that toxic, it doesn't fit anymore. So he made me uncomfortable. Like, okay, you worried about your car note. Boom, now you don't have no job. So I got to make you uncomfortable because I did this and you didn't leave. I did this, you still didn't leave. I done did this, that, and you still sitting there. So I'm going to do this. You ain't got no choice but to get up. And that's what it was. So at home, once he started to see like, okay, you at home. We talked about it. And I said, so what should I do? He said, honestly, he was like, why don't you just chill? He was like, take some time for yourself. Sit down. He like, I know the unemployment ain't much. He like, we ain't struggling. He like, we barely making it, but take that time and work on you. Get yourself together. What I didn't hear him say is what he probably said in his head. Because girl, you getting on my nerve. Just go sit down somewhere. Get it together. You snapping on people. And once he gave me that chance to do that, it was like, I could breathe. I was able to, I slept better. I'm talking, when I say rest, I probably didn't got enough rest for me and you. It changed so much. It's like, I'm looking like, dang, this my husband. Like, boy, I didn't even know you was that cute. I love you. Where are we going? Like, it changed our whole dynamics. I honestly feel like me being laid off made our marriage stronger because he showed me several times in sickness and in health. But now you really have bigger shoes to fill because my dad is no longer here and I'm the only child and I'm spoiled. So you got some big shoes to fill and he has not dropped the ball. And I appreciate that so much. So for those who do have a mate, make sure that he's covered as well because I had to. Because you know the negative people, oh, well, what y'all gonna do now? She ain't working. We gonna do the same thing we was doing when I was working. We gonna make it happen. And we have, and I'm glad to say that June 13th of 2025, we will celebrate 10 years of marriage. Because I thought I was going to be a player all my life.
Oh my God. Well, look, right now, this is a great place for me to just say, we appreciate you, Mr. Carlisle. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Because I do. Like I said, been able to see you. I see you smiling, and that's good. And I know, me knowing you the way I know you, and I know it's not for the cameras. It's not for cameras, not for social media. So we want you to know. I know she tell you privately, but we want you to know publicly, because we know you are definitely watching this episode. That we do appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. I too know what that feels like, to have a support at home. I too know what it feels like, right? When you have the two incomes to then at some point have to go to one income. And then I said, when that happened for us, because this year we'll be together for 25 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I get that look, the good and the bad and the ups and the downs and the ins and the outs and all of the things, and saying, I know if somebody can just agree with me right here, nobody but Jesus, right?
Amen.
Nobody, when you think about that, and being okay to say, I put me first. To say, if I'm in a marriage, I know it's another part of me, or because we're not two halves, we're supposed to be two whole people. So let me say that for somebody that's listening to the married folks, it's supposed to be two whole people coming together, not half and half, and we make each other whole. No, we're supposed to be whole when we come together. And so that's what happens, like you said, in sickness and in health, and being there in the good and the bad, because it's at the end of the day and the beginning of the day, it's like, if you were at the end, are you with the person that you know you wouldn't mind sitting on the side of your bed?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. I love this conversation. I know we're going to get a little bit more even into talking about grief. We're going to get to talking about even some things that's a little bit more tender with your experience with your mom and what that looked like, because I think, you know, if you don't mind sharing, somebody would want to know and hear that side, to know what it looks like with addiction. So to even know that means, yes, that's right. We're getting ready for part 2, because she's going to talk about what addiction looks like. You heard her say that she's an only child. She's an only child, to know what that looks like, and still understanding at this stage of making herself a priority and putting her at the top of the to-do list of her life. So somebody on here, you're looking, you're listening, making sure you're tapped into this young lady. Yeah, you can find her all over social media, but definitely, you see that first name? Yeah. See, we're giving honor to the husband on here, Mr. Carlisle. On Facebook, it is Haynesworth. We know that is the maiden name. And so we do appreciate you. So I'm super excited that you paused for the cause to stop by Self First, because I'm loving this conversation, having a conversation with individuals who can give their heart, allow people to step in, take a peek into their world, to know that they are not alone. And even in this season, right, that things are still happening, but we still have to hold on and understand that we are a gift. You are a gift. You're a gift. And we have to remember to treat ourselves as such, because we got life to live. We have purpose, and there's things that we have to do. So I want to thank y'all for joining us for this episode of You First. Wave at the people, just wave at the people. We're going to do a part 2, y'all, because we're going to talk about some addiction. We're going to find out what's going on next for this young lady and what that looks like to be a mother of 2 adult children. And then now she's gone into entrepreneurship. So stay tuned. Make sure you tap in, and we'll see you again next time on You First. Bye for now. This episode is brought to you by Kennedy Media and Entertainment, your premier video productions and digital visibility partner. Working with business owners just like you to be seen, heard, and paid by elevating your brand with high-impact video content, online visibility strategies, and expert social media management. Ready to stand out in your industry, on and off camera? Contact Kennedy Media today, and let's turn your message into a movement. Because visibility isn't optional, it's essential. Contact KennedyMediaLLC.com, KennedyMediaLLC.com, and let's boost your brand's visibility. It's time for you to be seen, heard, and known for your expertise. Contact us today.